Hi, Facebook live stream viewers. We're so glad you're with us. We are, remember the other day, some of you with us, we are just about to start the show, and we'll be coming into it just as though we were in the show we started the other day. And then through the magic of editing, it will all come together and air on Sunday night at 9 o'clock, and then also on every major podcast platform out there. So thank you for joining us, and we will be getting started in just a moment.
Welcome back to Change It Up. Now here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. And as promised, we are about to get to hear from Bobbi Brink, a really amazing woman who has done an amazing thing to help exotic animals. So before we start to talk to Bobbi, let me tell you a little bit about her. She's been working with and advocating for captive big cats, bears, and other exotic animals since the early 90s. She's the founder, director, and CEO of Lions, Tigers, and Bears in Alpine here in San Diego County. She is a woman with a huge heart and a powerful spirit. And her personal mission is to end the abuses that stem from the exotic animal trade. She has created a sanctuary called Lions, Tigers, and Bears here in San Diego County. And she works on many levels. She has testified before Congress. She's out there doing all kinds of work. She travels all over the country rescuing these exotic animals. And I can't wait to learn more about this. I had the privilege of meeting Bobbi a couple of weeks ago and said right then and there, we got to have you on the show because more people need to know about this. So help me welcome Bobbi Brink. Hi, Bobbi.
Hi, Paula. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, I'm so excited that you're here because we need to tell people about what's happening out there. So would you please, Bobbi, first tell our listeners, how did you begin this interest in saving these exotic animals, and when did all that start? What's the story?
You know, I actually started by opening a restaurant. I was moving from San Diego to Texas to open a restaurant. And while I was searching through the classified ads looking for restaurant equipment, I kept seeing lions, tigers, leopards for sale.
Really?
So just out of curiosity, I answered the ad, and a lady, she lived on 5 acres. She had 30 breeding big cats and all kinds of babies running around her mobile home floor, and you could buy one and take one home today.
And
so, of course, I didn't.
Of course not. And I'm kind of curious, who buys a wild animal like that? What are they going to do with it?
Well, you'd be surprised. A lot of people do try to make pets out of them. Of course, we know they don't make good pets, but it's perfectly legal still to this day in certain states in our country.
Oh, my gosh. I had no idea. I absolutely had no idea that people, A, bred big wild animals, and B, that it was legal to sell them to just anybody.
Exactly. Exotic animal trade is second to drugs and weapons and human trafficking in our country, and people have no idea. That's exactly right.
And so
education is key.
Yeah, I would think education is critical. And what I'm wondering is, I'm sure, and I've seen pictures, so I know these tigers and lions and even little bears are adorable when they're small, when they're cubs, right? But I'll bet you a lot of people buy them, and then when they get bigger and maybe a little scarier, they don't know what to do with them. Is that true?
That's exactly right. And then the lucky ones end up at a sanctuary, like lions, tigers, and bears.
I see. So there are other sanctuaries out there besides yours?
Yes, and there's actually not very many accredited ones. Matter of fact, I'm just on my way back from a steering committee meeting of sanctuary, people who run sanctuaries and try to work together as sanctuaries in our country. But I believe there's less than 10 accredited big cat and bear sanctuaries in the United States.
Oh, my goodness.
So we all work really hard together to do the best we can to stop this, to stop this trade.
So tell us about the sanctuary you created, Lions, Tigers, and Bears. What is it like?
So Lions, Tigers, and Bears is in Alpine, and we actually have 65 rescued animals, 17 different species.
Oh, my.
But we work, globally, and we work all over the country with our first responders to help get animals out of places that they shouldn't be, because, of course, our police officers are not trained how to get a tiger out of a garage or a bedroom or things like that. So we help with that, help the state officials, and, of course, we're their voice. So we advocate to protect the animals. And, we brought a tiger even from Greece, and we're currently working on helping a zoo over in the Philippines. So we pretty much just help all lions, tigers, and bears the best that we can, one animal at a time.
So you're rescuing them even from other countries, you're saying, right?
Exactly. And then you can come and visit. We're, just a little bit east of San Diego, and we do educational visits Wednesday through Saturdays.
And what's a visit like? Because I'm getting on your list. I can't wait to go out there. I'm telling everybody about it already, and I'm seeing who I can get together to come. But what's it actually like when you go on a visit? Are you just looking at animals like you do at a zoo, or do you interact in any way? How does that work?
Well, it's a guided visit usually by the keepers or the our trained staff, and they take you around and literally introduce you to each and every animal and tell you their story. And some people can feed the animals, and it's a little different than the zoo because our animals really, if they feel like it, they come down and greet you, and you'll actually see the animals. They're a lot more comfortable with the visitors and people than a zoo. Mm-hmm. And, they've just a place for rescued animals to live out their life with dignity.
And so do any of your animals that you rescue ever go to the wild animal park where animals are roaming out there in open land?
No, and most of these zoos won't take these animals. The animals that we have, they have no conservation value to the zoo, and a lot of them are surplus animals left over from breeding, and then they end up out in the private sector. And the breeders will breed anything they don't care who they breed to who. It's nothing more than for profit and to sell the babies. And one of the biggest problems in our country is photo ops. So there is no legitimate place left in our country to get your picture taken with a lion, a tiger, or bear. So pretty much if you are choosing to do that activity anymore, you're supporting the exotic animal trade. And most of these babies disappear. They have to continuously breed babies to keep their businesses open. It's only legal. They just have a small window, 8 to 12 weeks old, to use the animals for photo ops. And then they just are disposed of. We don't even know where most of them go. There is no federal tracking or no true number of how many big cats are truly in the United States. Way more than there are left in the wild, though, we know that.
Oh, my goodness. I had no idea that this was such a heinous situation, that obviously these people who are doing this, breeding just for photo ops or breeding for just as a source of income, not really caring about the fate of the animal, that's awful. And yet, as you're saying that there are no laws to regulate that?
No, there's not. And it goes state by state. So actually, when I started Lions, Tigers, and Bears, I believe there was 26 states. You could perfectly own any of these animals as a pet, and we are down to 7. And we are working state by state, but there are still legitimate photo opportunity businesses here in our country, which we're, trying to stop. It's just not nice to the animals at all.
Oh, it's horrible. And did I hear you say in the beginning, Bobbi, that you have 60 some odd animals in your sanctuary?
Right. We have 65 animals, 17 different species. And, we're continuously working on rescues, and we transport all across the country. So we're one of the only sanctuaries that's, set up to transport. So we work with all the sanctuaries to get animals out of bad places and to a good home.
And who does that? I mean, do you have like a vehicle?
Myself.
a rescue vehicle that you send out?
We do. We have what we call a hauler, so it's a small Freightliner semi-truck. I'm the night driver, and then I have a couple guys who drive with me during the day. And, we get on the road, and when we stop, I usually service the animals. They service the truck, and, we just try to keep going and keep making time.
Wow.
Some of the bigger rescues, we've moved a couple hundred animals across the country at a time.
Oh, my goodness. And how did you get this kind of training, Bobbi? Because if you were going to open a restaurant, I have a feeling you were not originally trained in how to handle large exotic animals, wild animals.
Nope, by doing it since 1990, hands-on every day. And then we do internships at Lions, Tigers, and Bears. We have a lot of college students who come and do their interns and learn how to work around the animals, and maybe they want to be a vet or a keeper, biologist. They can do their interns with us, and that's how they learn.
That's amazing. Amazing. And we are going to be having to go to a break shortly, so the question I really want to ask you, I'm going to save for just a moment, but these interns that come and do work with you, is it dangerous working around the animals or dangerous for the visitors on any level?
It is not dangerous for the interns. It is not dangerous for the visitors, but these are very dangerous animals. They're, top of the food chain, apex predators. They can kill you in a hot second, but they have to be managed properly, and all the habitats have to be safe, and there's lots of safety rules. A new intern wouldn't be working directly with the animals. There's a lot to learn before that ever happens.
Oh, well, that makes perfect sense. And it's good to know that anybody who's interested in going out there to visit, because I think it'd be a fabulous experience for children too. And there is no danger, so that's really good to know. And when we come back from this break, Bobbi, I want to find out how you feed all these animals and where does the funding come from to keep it all going. So we'll talk about that in just a moment when we come back.
Okay.
All right.
We'll be right back with more Change It Up with Paula Shaw on AM 1170, The Answer.
Jack Gutman survived World War II and then returned home to the hardest fight of his life with PTSD and alcoholism. Now at age 93, he's a businessman and comedian, sharing his message of recovery and hope in his new book, One Veteran's Journey to Heal the Wounds of War, helping our heroes and anyone who has experienced PTSD find happiness again. Get Jack Gutman's new book, One Veteran's Journey to Heal the Wounds of War, at Amazon.com, or to order a signed copy, call 714-525-4954.
For those looking to improve their lives, there's nobody better to turn to than Paula Shaw. Paula helps people regain successful lives by identifying and eliminating self-sabotaging behavior using a multitude of mind-body techniques to identify and resolve their core issues. Working with a wide variety of healing modalities, she provides her clients with the most effective process for their specific needs. To book a session with Paula, call 858-480-9234. That's 858-480-9234.
Welcome back to Change It Up. Now here's your host, Paula Shaw.
Welcome back to Change It Up Radio with Paula Shaw. And I am delighted that today we are talking with Bobbi Brink of Lions, Tigers, and Bears, an animal sanctuary here in Alpine in San Diego County in California. And Bobbi has been telling us Bobbi, by the way, is the CEO, founder, and director of Lions, Tigers, and Bears. And it sounds like she's pretty much the jack of all trades of that operation, because she also goes out with their special vehicle and rescues animals all over the country and all over the world. So she's a very busy lady with a huge heart for these animals that go through just horrible abuse, neglect. People love them and want to buy them because they're cute when they're small, and then suddenly this is a big wild animal and they maybe become scary and people don't know what to do with them. So it's a real problem. In our last segment, Bobbi was telling us how their efforts have finally created legislation that in most states now it is illegal to sell these animals, but there's still 7 states left that she is working to get those laws changed in. So, Bobbi, thank you for everything you're doing. And I'm really interested in knowing, is there any sort of a number that we can put to what it costs to feed a lion, a tiger, or a bear for, let's say, a year?
It costs about $10,000 to feed one bear or one tiger per year.
Wow.
And that's just the basic food. So that doesn't include medical or habitat or vaccines, things like that.
Oh, my goodness. And you've got 65 animals, you said, out there, right?
Exactly. And believe it or not, I think our most expensive bills would be insurance and electricity and then building the habitat. Those are our 3. You know, we're constantly trying to fundraise to build more habitat. So, of course, we can rescue more animals. And every animal that we rescue, we need to be able to provide for life.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking, because it's not like you're only going to have them a year or 2, especially if they're young, right?
Exactly.
What is,
you know, a bear can live up to, you know, about 30 years in captivity, and a lion or a tiger will live about 20 years in captivity.
oh my goodness. So we're looking at an astronomical amount of money in order to maintain these animals.
Exactly. And we survive, you know, solely on fundraising and donations, and, you know, every little bit adds up, and it makes it possible to get the work done that we do.
So let me ask you this first before we talk about your fundraiser. What is the web address where people can go if they would like to donate money to help you in this beautiful cause?
It's www.lionstigersandbears.org. So everything is plural, and is spelled out. Lionstigersandbears.org.
Okay, Lions, Tigers, and A-N-D, bears.org. And
Correct.
of these 65 animals that you have out there, are most of them lions, tigers, and bears?
Yes. So we have grizzly bears, Himalayan black bears, American black bears, black leopards, spotted leopard, white lion, African lion, mountain lions, bobcat, servals. And then, you know, we even have horses, miniature donkey, miniature horse, macaw, peacocks, chicken, domestic cat. So we do rescue other animals, but our, you know, specific focus is on lions, tigers, and bears.
I see. So you've got some big eaters there, and it's around $10,000 per animal. So tell us about this fundraiser that you have coming up that hopefully is going to make a ton of money to keep these animals fed.
Right. So our annual gala, we call it Wild in the Country. It's on May 18th. It's from 2 to 6. And it's just a good, fun day helping animals. So we have live and silent auction items. We'll have at least 150 silent auction items, which we're still, you know, seeking auction items if you can help in that way. And then we'll have a live auctioneer, a full dinner. There's cocktails for the adults, open house to the facility, a little bit of shopping, and then there are opportunities as the VIP tickets to feed the animals. They are on a pretty strict diet, so we can only do so many of those because the feedings come directly out of their measured diet.
Right.
But it's a super important day because this day helps us to raise a lot of our, you know, operating costs and just some much needed funds for not only these animals, but to rescue and help more animals.
So just to make sure everybody got that information, it's May 18th. So that's coming up right away. May 18th
Right away.
from 2 to 6, right?
Exactly.
And the event?
The VIP hour is from 1 to 2.
Oh, okay. So if they have a VIP ticket, they come from 1 to 2. And this event is being held right on the property of Lions and Tigers and Bears, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, perfect. And how do people get tickets for that event, Bobbi?
Again, they can just get online to that website, www.lionstigersandbears.org, or they can call the office and purchase tickets.
Okay, and what's the phone number for the office?
619-659-8078.
Okay, 619-659. 8078.
Correct.
All right. And what is the cost of tickets for this fundraiser?
They start at $125.
Okay, they start at $125. And I didn't hear it. Did you say that? I know you said it includes cocktails, I believe, for adults. And is there any?
And dinner.
And dinner. Oh, okay, perfect. And they're right there on the property so they can see the animals, right?
Exactly.
Oh, cool. And if they go to the VIP level, they can even partake in feeding some of the animals.
Exactly.
Oh, that is incredible. All right, so we really want to urge everybody to have a great afternoon on May 18th. While you're having fun, you're helping these animals to survive. And this work that Bobbi is doing needs our support. You know, she can't do it alone, obviously. She's out there working tirelessly day after day between rescues and running the sanctuary. She's a very busy woman, but they need funding. They need funds to help to keep on doing this amazing work they're doing. So I think that anything we can do to help would be great. And if we can have a fun afternoon and be helping at the same time and get to experience these amazing animals, that's kind of like, sounds like you can't beat it. It sounds like a great afternoon. And, you know, Bobbi, I was looking at the website, and it looks to me like every animal has a name and a story. Is that correct?
Oh, yes. Every single animal on our place has a story. And most of them all know their name, and they'll come to their name. They know their name.
They will. Oh, wow. That's so great. So when you when you go out and rescue an animal, let's say in another state, obviously you've got it in some kind of an enclosed cage in the truck. And then how do you find they do once they get to lions and tigers and bears? Now they're in a whole new place. Are they isolated for a while, or do they go right in with others of their kind? How does that work?
Well, we always have a quarantine. So a lot of times when we're working on a rescue, we can be working on it for years before we actually are able to get some of the animals out of the situations they're in, or there's a lot of coordination and, involved just getting to the rescue and getting organized, and then how we're going to catch up the animal depending on how safe of a facility it is. I think a lot of the times people take these animals on and they don't have the funds to properly build habitat. So, getting them into the hauler. So we have transfer cages, and the transfer cages roll up into the hauler, and the hauler itself is completely self-contained. So it's temperature controlled, and it's barred on the inside, and it locks. And then these transfer cages are designed so we can go across the top and feed and water from the top so that they can't, try to get you from the sides. And most times they're scared, and
of course.
But once we get on the road, it's kind of like a baby. Once we get on the road, they'll go to sleep, or calm down. And you just try to keep moving, which keeps them calm. And
I see.
And then there's a quarantine once we get home. Usually about 30 days before they can go with the other animals. We've got to check and make sure that they're healthy, and that gives time for the keepers to start building a relationship with that animal and start building their trust back up.
And you have vets on your staff that work with the health of the animals?
Right. They're not on staff, but we've got about 9 different vets we work with, and Dr. Ryan Sandler being our head vet at this time. And they even have like a skin doctor, eye doctor, internal medicine, dentist. There's a lot of dental work for these animals that are kept in small cages prior to getting here.
Yeah.
A lot of the bears will rub their teeth on the metal, or the cats will bite their teeth on the metal.
Oh, my goodness. We could do a whole other show just about the health of the animals, but I want to remind our listeners that Lions, Tigers, and Bears has their big annual fundraising event coming up May 18th from 2 to 6. And you can get tickets for that event by either going to Lions, Tigers, and Bears was it org?
.org, yes.
.org. Lions, Tigers, and Bears.org, or by calling 619 659 8078. Bobbi, thank you so much for sharing your beautiful work with us, and I hope you have an amazing fundraising event. In fact, I'm checking my calendar when we finish this interview to see if I can get out there too. I would love to visit. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Paula.
joining
Thank
us
you.
from your busy schedule, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And thank you to our listeners. Remember that you can hear us here on Sunday evenings at 9 o'clock on AM 1170 The Answer and 96.1 FM. And we're on every major podcast platform, including iHeartRadio and Blog Talk. And if you can't remember all those places, just ask Alexa. She'll find us. All right. And if you'd like more information about the show, go to changeitupradio.com. And if you want more information about me or my work, you can find that at paulashaw.com. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week for Change It Up Radio. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Change It Up with life transitions expert, speaker, and best-selling author Paula Shaw. Join the Change It Up movement with Paula Shaw as we explore topics that inspire, welcome change, and create a new kind of conversation. To learn more about Paula, how to be a guest on the show, and sponsorship opportunities, visit changeitupradio.com. Whether you're feeling happy, sad, mad, or glad, it never hurts to change it up.
Can my Facebook people hear me? Oh, they can. Oh, good. So, live stream viewers, thank you for being with us. And thank you for being such good sports in this, what turned out to be a 2-part show. And if any of you can get out to Lions, Tigers, and Bears for this fundraiser, please do. We really want to help these animals. And if you go on the website, you're going to see some video of them and pictures of them that I guarantee you will really open your heart. So thanks for being with us, and we'll see you next week for Change It Up Radio. Bye-bye.